remember to silence their phones if they do have them. We're going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge, followed by prayer by Pastor Sidwell.
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this council, everyone involved in giving time here and insight as well for the important needs of our village. We thank you for your faithfulness these past weeks of events, especially in the conversations and the solar discussion, wisdom, restraint, and encouragement shown by everyone involved. We thank you too for the ongoing protection and success of all emergency services, fire, medical, police success in every area. Pray for all schools as they start back, staff, pupils, families, as they return to new schedules. Keep them safe and productive entering this new term. Remember all farming needs, and in particular these businesses that are challenged this time, 3 in particular. Thank you too for our health facilities, senior center, encouragement for all who work in those. We ask too for comfort and strength to those who have suffered bereavement, lost loved ones. We invite you, Holy Spirit, tonight, give insight, wisdom in all the deliberations that take place here, decisions to be made, especially for these next weeks. Give you thanks too for a successful River Raisin Festival. Now in silent prayer, we bring our loved ones, families, friends, all those in the village that we circumstances that we think about at this time. Lord, in your mercy, hear our prayers. In Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. Have a wonderful meeting tonight.
Appreciate it. All right, welcome everybody. First up, we will do roll call this.
Mike Gunner,
Present.
Gwen Dusa.
Here.
Bill Gritzmaker,
Here.
Sherry Luce,
Here.
Ken Nichols, Eric Rogers,
Here.
Timothy Waters.
Present. All right, up first on the agenda tonight, to approve minutes from our August 25th meeting.
Motion to approve minutes of August 25, 2025. Representative. I'll support.
Motion Bill, second Eric, to approve the minutes of August 25th, 2025 as presented. Any corrections? That Lisa, call roll.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes, motion carries. Up next on the agenda are presentations and communications. We do have 2 scheduled public hearings. I'd like to do them separate just because they're kind of not related to each other. If council's okay with that. First would be the public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-26 budget, including the budget, capital improvement plan, wage scale, and fee schedule. Second public hearing would be for the ordinance amendments for chapters 22, 57, and 80. Entertain motion for the public hearing for the budget. For proposed budget.
Motion to open public hearing for the FY 2025-2026 budget.
A motion, Bill, second Tim, to open the public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-26 budget year. Is there anybody from the public who does want to speak regarding proposed budget?
Roll call.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Lisa.
Eric,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Thanks, Lisa.
Thanks.
Now, is there anybody who cares to address council regarding the proposed budget for next year? Okay, hopefully people got to read through the paper or see it online. If there's no public discussion, I'll entertain a motion to close that public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing on fiscal year 25-26 budget.
Support. Motion Bill and a second, Ken, to close the public hearing for the fiscal year 2025-26 budget. Lisa, call roll.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Next would be the ordinance amendments as proposed.
Make a motion to open the public hearing regarding ordinance amendments, to chapters 22, chapter 57, and chapter 80.
Support.
Yes. Motion Eric, second Bill, to open the public hearing for the ordinance amendments to chapters 22, 57, and 80. Anybody from the public who wishes to discuss any of the ordinance amendments? 22 is about shows and amusements and special events. Chapter 57, skateboard posters, roller skates, rollerblades, inline skates, and similar devices. Chapter 80, disorderly conduct. Now I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for chapters 22, 57, and 80.
Oh, Sherry, second, Tim, to close the public hearing for the ordinance amendments to chapters 22, 57, and 80. Lisa, call roll.
Bill,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, carries. So the agenda is to approve tonight's agenda as presented, or if there's any amendments.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion Gwen, second Bill, to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting, September 8th, 2025, as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, Lisa, call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, carries. Next on the agenda is public comment time. We do have an email from Devin Rogers regarding the library. Is that correct?
Correct,
That
yes.
she wanted to share, so I'll have Danielle go first, and we'll open it up for anyone else.
So I did receive a written public comment from Debbie Rogers, who wanted to just share with council and the public that Tuesday, September 16th at 6 p.m. The Schultz Homes District Library will hold their library budget hearing. The budget was published in the advance on September 3rd. It is a general budget. More detailed budget can be obtained by calling the library at 517-486-2558. And then she did enclose a letter to the editor that was published in the advance on September 3rd. With a notation that she has a correction. The millage for the library is listed under the Schultz Homes District Library, winter 2024. She did also share that she's still concerned about the stipend budgeted for the 2 full-time employees. That stipend is still in the budget at $15,000 each for the 2 employees. And the letter to the editor, do you want me to read that? It was included as well.
Yeah, 3 minutes, sure.
Public hearing on 25-26 budget for Schultz Homes District Library, Tuesday, September 16th at 6 p.m. at the library at 407 South Lane Street in Blissfield. The Advance published an article regarding the Schultz Homes District Library on August 27th, 2025. I am responding to that article, I being Debbie, just making sure we're on the same page. Not all the information was included in this article, in particular, the stipend that was given to the full-time employees to purchase their own health insurance for themselves. The library has only two full-time employees, the director and the assistant director. Last year, the Provisional Library Board gave each of these employees a $15,000 stipend so they may purchase health insurance for themselves. There didn't seem to be any explanation regarding this amount. The Provisional Board of the library also approved large wage increases for library staff. Those wage increases range from 23% to 46.9% for 6 employees. Again, this upcoming budget gives these 2 employees the stipend of $15,000 each, $30,000 total. This issue was discussed at the budget workshop of the library held on Tuesday, August 19th. This stipend was questioned. Through research, each of these employees can obtain health, dental, and vision through their spouse's place of employment. And then it's cut off from there that goes into some costs and things, but I don't have the additional portions, so. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate that. Did she sign that as? Such trustee or as a-
Yeah, her email was Debbie Rogers, trustee for the Schultz Homes District Library.
Okay, thank you.
It should be the same for the- And we'll have a copy of this if anybody does need to see it as well that was submitted.
Thank you for doing that. Is there anybody in person who cares to address anything? No? Press, nothing?
I want to say something. Is it time?
Yep, absolutely, please do. Just state your name for the record. Go.
Vernon Nigel. I'm the river lady. That's right. Live at 426 North Monroe Street. Ed and I have always been excited about living in town because of the river. We've enjoyed it. I think it's our greatest asset. So constantly we're trying to, make sure that everything is smooth concerning the river. I know it's all volunteer work that leads it up. And it's a big expense, so the state's the only one that's got the money to do it. But we really appreciate what the council did to get the river blockchain out behind the house. It's so much better looking out there now. I'm concerned about just continual, and we discussed that. And I thought that maybe it was Mark Knuckle that wanted to get a gang together because he was investigating how many log jams are on the river. And I thought they were gonna do something in the spring that I read in the paper. As far as getting a group together, a volunteer group. And it didn't happen, but I understand completely how hard that is to get volunteers. And also the river is very high in spring. It's not the time to clean up the river. Right now, it's real low. It's the lowest it will be, for the year. So if there was any gang that, or anybody that we would ever connect with that could do something like that, it would have to be this time of year. And I think Tim would agree with me on that. If you live along the river, this is the time.
Right.
You can see the bottom of the river. And there's a lot of debris. A lot of what was broken up with that log jam was dislocated. It's still there. It's on the river bed. And I think that's true of probably a lot of spots in town here in the village. So I'm just hoping with this new young fellow that's with the river basin watershed that maybe we can get involved. I'm not sure who represents Blissfield. Who watershed? I need to talk to somebody who is.
Myself, Danielle.
Okay. And that, I suppose, would be, the direct route to take the river basin watershed. Some of these other communities are doing so much with the river and the volunteer groups that are doing things. Tecumseh is really bad. So I'm just hoping in the future we can prioritize something like that. Get some more people interested with recreational uses for the river, beautification of the river. It's just such an appeal in this town. We can do so much because we do that, but we need it. And it's a great resource. So, and I won't be around, to really see any benefits from it, but I think it could really help it. A lot of it. So that's just my thoughts. And I definitely really am thankful for what you did too.
I think most of us agree up here, you know, it is our natural asset and, you know, not, well, I want to take up a lot of time, but we're working on the erosion control. That's part of our budget proposal. Cleanup obviously is a lot of volunteer effort. Some good news, sounds like DT is gonna close the coal plant down at the mouth of the rivers, by 2032. So again, I know it's quite a ways, but maybe that could help with the fishing and spawning. We've still got dams and things like that to deal with, but I agree, it's on Laura's radar, it's on our radar. So we need to
I'm glad
clean
you
up
did
and
that.
utilize it. Absolutely, thank you. Anybody else who does care to address council? On anything? No, there'll be a time at the end, if something does pop up. We can move on to unfinished business. We do have the RIGA amended water service as consolidated agreement. Daniel, you want to go to that one?
Yes, this item was postponed from the last meeting because the track changes did not show on the agenda. I did send you guys all of the previous agreements with RIGA as well as the proposed amendment. The majority of what you're looking at is just consolidating all of those prior amendments into one. Rather than us having to dig through, and hopefully that'll simplify for both Blissfield and RIGA. And then the other changes to reference the fee schedule. So as or if there's any changes in the future, then we can just work with RIGA to notify them of those and not have to make annual amendments each year. It would not change our process. We would still communicate with RIGA. We would still work with them. We'd still let them know of any pending or future changes that we were looking at, and things like that. But if you have other questions, please let me know.
No questions, but I did appreciate the consolidation. I'm sure they did too. I would assume you guys did.
Yes, it certainly helps staff. It was actually very confusing to try to look at all the different components.
Well, I would move to approve the amended water service agreement with Ragged Township, consolidating all prior amendments and referencing the fee schedule to accommodate future amendments, and to authorize the village president to execute the agreement on behalf of the governing body.
Motion Glenn and the second Sherry to approve the amended water service agreement with Riga Township. Consolidating all prior amendments and referencing the fee schedule to accommodate future amendments. Authorize the village president to execute the agreement on behalf of the governing body. Any discussion? You guys here for water, or you just kind of listening, or you
Just a fancy.
okay. Any discussion, council? Pretty cut dry, please call roll.
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Next is new business, we do have payroll first.
Move to approve the payroll register for August 2025 in the amount of $217,146.84.
Support. Motion Bill and support Tim to approve the payroll register for August 2025 in the amount of $217,146.84. Any discussion on payroll? That leaves the call roll.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Next would be the accounts payable.
Move to approve accounts payable for the period of August 13, 2025 to September 9, 2025 in the amount of $151,231.33.
I'll support.
Motion Ken, second Eric, to approve the accounts payable for the period of August 13, 2025 to September 9, 2025 in the amount $151,231.33. Questions or comments on the bills?
I did have some questions, you guys. Didn't know if you had an opportunity to see your email. If you did, great. If not, I'm sure you'll have the opportunity. Okay. Thank you again for getting that information to me, Brandon.
What else? Not Lisa, call roll.
Gwen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Motion carries. Next, we have the proposed fiscal year 2025 to 26 budgets.
I move to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-26 budget as presented effective October the 1st of 2025.
I'll support.
A motion Gwen and a second Sherry to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-26 budget as presented effective October 1st, 2025. Any discussion? Call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Carries. Up next, part of the same thing, the capital improvement plan.
I move to approve the resolution adopting the 2025 to 2032 capital improvement plan, CIP, as recommended by the planning commission.
Support.
Motion Gwen and second Bill to approve the resolution adopting the 2025 through 2032 capital improvement plan as recommended by the planning commission. Discussion. Down, Lisa, call roll.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. And up next will be the fee schedule for 25-26 fiscal year.
I'm going to keep it on a roll. Move to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025/26 comprehensive fee schedule as presented to be effective October the 1st of 2025.
Support. Go ahead.
Sorry, you beat me to it.
Go ahead.
I'll support.
A motion Gwen and a second Eric to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-26 comprehensive fee schedule as presented to be effective October 1st, 2025. Discussion. And if people do have questions about any of the sort of budget, feel free to contact the village office or reach out to council. Anybody would be happy to walk through it or answer any questions regarding that. So, Lisa, call roll.
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. And finally, the 2025-26 wage scale is proposed.
I move to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-26 wage scale as recommended effective October 1st, 2025.
I'll support.
Motion Gwen and second Sherry to approve the resolution adopting the fiscal year 2025-26 wage scale as recommended. Effective October 1st, 2025. Discussion. Then Lisa, call roll.
Eric,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Motion carries. Moving on, we'll be discussing the ordinance amendments. First up is chapter 22. The special events, shows and amusements. Mainly streamlining the process for applications and how council goes about approving or denying a little bit of a checks and balances, correct, Daniel?
Correct, yes.
Move to approve the ordinance amending chapter 22 to establish a special events application process in order to improve communication and provide clear, fair guidelines for possible consideration of event requests effective upon publication.
Support.
I have a motion, Tim, and a second, Eric, to approve the ordinance amending chapter 22 to establish a special events application process in order to improve communication, provide clear and fair guidelines for council consideration of event requests effective upon publication.
Mike. I do want to just let council know that we will publish this ordinance and it'll go into effect as we're required to by state law, but our plan internally is to send this information out to anybody that currently does events and to have them start submitting at the beginning of 2026, so that hopefully that'll give them a few month period to work on their applications. We will help guide them through this process in the beginning. So I just want to make sure that you guys know that we've already talked to some of the special event organizations to let them know, but just wanted to put that out there that we'll actually start implementing it in January of 2026.
You put a link online then on our website for.
Yes, I will get all that information. The event application will be added to the website. And like I said, we want to help people so we can walk them through and whatever we can help with during the first steps. I think once they do it one time, it should go pretty smoothly after that.
Great. Nothing further, please call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Number 8 on the agenda, in chapter 57 regarding skateboards, coasters, roller skates, roller blades, inline skates, and similar devices.
I move to approve the ordinance amending chapter 57 as presented effective upon publication.
Support.
Motion Sherry, second Ken. To approve the ordinance amending chapter 57 as presented effective upon publication. Discussion on that. Much like the others, just cleaning up verbiage regarding violations, not much change in that. Lisa, call roll.
Gwen,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. And number 80. Disorderly conduct.
Hope to adopt the ordinance amending chapter 80 disorderly conduct effective upon publication.
I'll support.
Motion Bill, second Eric, to adopt the ordinance amending chapter 80 disorderly conduct effective upon publication. Discussion, questions? Now, please call roll.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Carries. Moving on, you've got number 10, potential renewal of the school resource officer. I would just be continuing pretty much exactly what we have existing for the next 3 years. correct?
2 years.
2 years.
The
So that
first,
can continue.
the first agreement was for 2 year or 3 years. This one is 2 and then would auto renew unless we provide notice. Either party provides notice.
Move to approve the renewal of the school resource officer agreement with Blissfield Community Schools, with the school district continuing to pay 50% of the officer's wages and authorize the village administrator to execute the agreement on behalf of the governing body.
I'll support.
Have a motion, Eric, and second Sherry to approve the renewal of the school resource officer agreement with Blissfield Community Schools. With the school district continuing to pay 50% of the officer's wages, and authorize the village administrator to execute the agreement on behalf of the governing body. Any discussion?
Yes. Please put it on your reminder.
I already have it on my reminder.
I have a question. Is the 2 years the automatic renewal is for 2 years, or is it an annual automatic renewal?
It's an annual automatic renewal. And I guess just for a little bit of context, the reason we changed the term is we aligned that with the union agreement, so that if we need to make any changes, we can put them on notice prior to having that auto renew in here.
And yeah, so the only thing to break that is it's a 365-day rule or, agreement. I guess, does that set us up or the schools up for saying we're going into a next fiscal year where again, things could get ugly financially, hopefully not, but if we need to change that, we're funding that position for an entire year. From the date that we say, okay, either you have to cut it or we have to cut it, so we just, are we okay with that?
Yeah, so either side can get notice, the school or the village. So if the village were in a position that we said we can no longer continue this for whatever reason, we would just put them on notice. Or if the school, and the reason, again, we like the 1 year term after the 2 years, because then it gives us the ability to say, if they don't have the funding and they can no longer pay that 50%, they can come to us and put us on notice, and then we can determine how we're gonna proceed. I think that's what you're asking.
Pete, do you have any comments or concerns in this partnership?
It's going very, very well. Honestly, it's been a home run.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Here now, Lisa, call roll.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Up next, renewal of the mobile data terminals for the police vehicles. Got a recommendation from Chief and Danielle that we continue with that. For the 4 vehicles. Chief, any info on that, you want to share?
It's just a continuation of the 5-year contract. It's expiring. Price is still the same. It didn't increase. It's sports, the our computers, all the peripheral equipment and the IT support.
I move to authorize the chief of police to sign MDT partnership agreement renewal for 2025 and expiring on December 31st, 2030.
Support. Motion Sherry, second Tim, to authorize the chief of police to sign the MDT partnership agreement renewal for 2025, expiring on December 31st, 2030. Discussion. Just one question. We had some conflicting information on who actually had to purchase MDT if one went bad. Did we ever get that figured out where it does fall back on like on the county? Paying this lease?
If it's normal wear and tear, county would cover it. If it's destroyed by accident or car crash, we have responsibility.
But if it needs an upgrade or something, that is covered.
Yeah, that's part of the IT.
Thanks, sir. Anyone else? Now, Lisa, call roll.
Bill,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes, motion carries. Number 12. Be the fiscal year 2025-26 annual insurance policy. Your property and liability through MML.
Move to renew the fiscal year 25. Move to renew the fiscal year 2025-26 property and liability insurance to MML liability and property pool in the amount of $82,055.
Support.
Motion Bill and a second Ken to renew the fiscal year 2025-26 property and liability insurance to MML liability and property pool in the amount of $82,055, which we will receive payback at some point.
Yes, our dividend this year will be $6,315. So we do pay the full $82,055, and then we get that check payment back. Typically, it's a few weeks after. And then I did notate, I know we're still working through the library facility transfer, but if that facility is transferred this month or next month, we would also get a refund of $2,715. If it's done after next month, we would still get a prorated refund, but that amount would go down. I don't know the exact amount. I was hopeful that it'd be this or next month, so.
There's no further discussion. Lisa will call roll.
Eric,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes. Carried.
No,
Let's see, next, reports. Treasurer, anything?
The thing I want to share with residents of property taxes are due Monday, September 15th at 6 p.m. No postmark accepted.
And we have, Eric, has any questions for council for the treasurer on this report? All right, next we have the DDA Main Street report. Laura, you want to address anything or any questions or anything for Laura? And finally, the administrator, Danielle, anything for us?
Unless you have questions.
Council, questions, comments?
Oh, I did, yes. The meter replacement project is totally complete. If I'm understanding your comment here, was this close out the meter replacement project?
We do have a couple that are waiting for curb stops that DPW are fitting into their schedule. And then we have a couple homes that were foreclosed on, owned by the bank, that we cannot get access to. That'll be changed when we're able to, but the meter project itself is closed out. We have a majority of all of our meters with those couple few exceptions. We closed out the project with USG. We did go over budget on this project. I told you guys, do you remember the amount? I think it was like $1,525 if I'm going off the top of my head. So $1,500, which is really good for a project of this size. USG did write that amount off, so we did not make any additional payments because it was such a small amount. And again, we want the project to be successful, but yes, that is exciting news. They seem to be working well. Brandon's regularly reaching out to people if we see any abnormalities or issues, so early on and get it addressed with the customers.
How is that part going, Brandon? Are we having more or less of the issues with the replacements?
Last week, Virginia said that, I made phone calls, I have not spoken to one person, I left messages and a couple of emails, there's only one person that's on that list that I have not contacted.
And as far as people having any problems and having concerns about how to read their water meter, or there's any errors in question, how have those been?
So a lot of the conversations I've had with people, they seem to think there's an issue with the unit itself, but after explaining to them, it's not the unit. There is a leak going on, so they can really thank them because we call them ahead of time and let them know that we see a leak and they think abnormal. So, and like I said, a lot of times they don't think there's a problem, but when we work with them one by one to find the problem, they're very thankful.
I was one of those people, you guys, Brandon helped me out. Paula took care of the toilet, good man, yeah, it was a running toilet, yes, it was, saved $15, so there we go. So, thank you,
You're
Brandon.
welcome. You're welcome.
All right, anything else for Danielle? As I get out of here. Council discussion.
Oh, no, I got stuff for this.
All right, here we go.
Come on. Got a couple of things, Danielle. One of them that I didn't discuss just briefly is regarding the library facility. I know that we have, been in discussion. You alluded to the fact of this month, next month. Are we able to can we put down a firm date? The dance is taking place long enough.
So I can put it on your agenda at the September 22nd meeting.
Yes, please.
The only reason it has not come to you guys is that my last communication with the library is that they wanted to get a title
We're not waiting.
search.
They need to get it in gear. We are not waiting. They've had ample time. They've had 9 months to get this taken care of. I'd like to go ahead and put that on the agenda for next month.
Or next meeting.
Next meeting, excuse me, next meeting, yes. The dance that needs to come to an end. Yes, the fat lady's getting ready to sing. Thank you.
Would be on there.
That's one. Number two, I'd like to go ahead and, there was an issue, I believe, with one of the residents regarding the ordinance, regarding the rubbish / branches that, were not able to be picked up because the material was actually due to somebody coming in and cutting down their tree. So the DPW did not pick up that material. If I'm understanding correctly, the resident claimed that the ordinance was not updated. I believe you had stated, and correct me if I'm wrong, that he was correct, the ordinance was not updated, and we've been waiting for the
Excuse me.
people, can't remember their name, but they're doing our ordinance, update that on the website. Can you clarify that?
So the ordinance is posted on our website.
Okay.
Underneath Village Council, there's a webpage titled Ordinance Revisions.
And then,
And any proposed ordinance that's coming before council gets placed on there when it's in draft form. So before it ever comes to you guys, the full ordinance is put on there with a notice of when that will be coming before you guys, so that if anybody wishes to provide written or come speak and provide comment, they can do so. After you guys approve or amend the ordinance, it is then continued to be housed on that same page. But there's 2 sections. There's draft ordinances coming before you and then approved. So it's right below.
so
It remains on that approved page until Muni Code, which is the company that we work with, updates all of our ordinances until they get it updated on their side. And I purposely do that so that our residents can always find the ordinance, because it does take Muni Code typically about 4 weeks to get those uploaded. However, we are outside of the 4 weeks, and I am waiting longer for them to update some of the recent changes that we had and did follow up with them. I'm waiting to hear back, but it'll stay on that website to be available until then.
that was my understanding as well. I thought you explained that well, very clearly, that it was still there, maybe not in the actual ordinance section, but it was there. Updated and what has been approved. So the turnover is about 4 weeks, but it is a little bit over right now.
Correct.
With
Yes.
Muni Code.
Muni Code, yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify that. Okay. Next question, Lisa, this might be one for you, I don't know. Regarding the electric signage in the park, what's going on with that thing?
Last time I went to update it, it would not let me connect. I'm going again tonight after the meeting. My computer wouldn't charge earlier.
It doesn't seem to be updating or you're not able to update, taking.
I have to connect to it electronically, so hopefully,
Okay.
fingers crossed,
Okay.
on my way home, it
I
will
heard you
be,
saying something about it before, that there was an issue with it, but I hope that had gotten resolved.
it's temperamental when it wants to let me, yeah, it is fussy, yes.
Oh, the last one I wanted to ask about is Danielle, you had shared with council the information regarding Bone Pool. You had shared with me that our bond is going to be complete in 2038, I believe, for the pool. And I didn't know if you guys had the opportunity to read that or not. I don't want to look down the road where it's negatively down the road, but I want us to be as proactive as we possibly can. What if we get to 2035 and our pool begins to do exactly what Bone Pool doing? I don't know how old Bone Pool is. Well, we are still able to fix ours, and Bone is not able to fix it so readily. So I'm wondering, I don't know, Danielle, what the right word is. Do we look ahead and say in 10 years, and do the what ifs? What would we do? What are we committed to do? I guess, and I don't have the right verbiage, but when our old pool became really old, Are we gonna have a new pool out there in 2038 that's gonna be sitting for 5 years with, I guess I'm trying to be proactive with. When the time comes for our pool, not be productive. What will we be doing with, I just wanna put that something on the radar, because I don't want us to be like what has happened in the past, where we waited, we've not been prepared. Does that make sense? I don't know what the right verbiage is for that, but.
So we do plan for capital replacements to keep the pool operational and running, but I will be completely honest, we have not had the discussion of what happens if we can repair it. Because quite frankly, it's gonna depend on the council that's sitting up here. It's gonna depend on what our residents at that time want.
Okay.
So it's very hard to anticipate that. I mean, we can anticipate what a pump costs and to replace that. We can anticipate what it's gonna be to do the, redo the flooring, and that's something that we've talked about, you know, those things, but where like Bone Pool has a leak in there, that's not something I can easily anticipate. I mean, in a perfect world, I anticipate we don't ever have that happen.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, we don't live in a perfect world, but we can certainly have discussions and talk about, you know, what are we gonna do when we use the life of this pool? But it may change because we can't bind this council can't bind another and commit to something. So that would be the only thing I would caution you guys on, is you could make a decision now, but any future council could potentially override or change that decision.
I was just, again, trying to be a little more proactive versus reactive.
Yeah, and I shared that information, certainly not to scare you guys, but just to keep you informed of what's going on, but we are seeing pools around communities closing at a fairly rapid rate because of the cost to operate and run them. And I actually, if you read that whole article, it said that Bone Pool operated at about $1,000 a day.
Yes.
And a resident actually read that article as well and had texted me and said, hey, there's no way it's $1,000 for us to operate. We're actually at about $1,060 a day to operate our pool.
So that's.
And that was based on this year's numbers, and we had record-setting revenues come in at our pool this year with record-setting memberships. We sold 814 season memberships and sold over 2,000, I think it was 2,300 day passes. So this year,
We had quite a few, not to interrupt, but we had quite a few out of township people.
yes. Yeah, and I did send that information to Parks and Rec. It was in the monthly report. I think Gwen even pointed that out. We had quite a few non-resident passes as well.
And then, I don't know who the person was, but Danielle, you alluded to it in your weekly summary to us regarding the cost of brush pickup. Absolutely had no idea that that was the cost per hour for brush pickup. I know that you are here from the advance. I'm wondering if perhaps we could share with Mr. Donnelly some of those numbers. And perhaps that could be illustrated to our residents, the cost of the brush pickup. So that when folks sometimes say, understandably, what do we get for living in the village of Blissfield? The cost of that brush pickup per hour could be very beneficial for the residents to hear that this is a perk that we do have. Was it $300, $400 an hour? Yeah, right. And so depending on the amount of employees, that's just per hour. And that's not I mean, of course, we would have the 8-hour day, and that happens how many times a month? Twice a month. So just something that I just thought that would be beneficial for our.
Vehicle rental.
Right, it's the whole
equipment rental, all of that. And
I don't know, Doug, if you have that opportunity and you talk with Danielle, just to perhaps just enlighten our residents so that they'll say, oh, wow, this is a perk that we do have.
And my question is to add that it is their times, because it's twice a month, but is there times when it goes over that day?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I
Residents need to
included
understand that.
to
Yeah, right.
the information, you guys, and it's very hard. I can't tell you an exact. Last month, we had 2 8-hour shifts because it took us 2 full days to pick up brush, and then another day it was an 8-hour shift and a 5-hour shift. But it varies. Sometimes we are able to get it done in the 8 hours, and sometimes it carries over to the next day, and it can be anywhere from additional 3 to 8 hours the second day.
It still gives a good idea of the cost per hour. So that's, like, I was.
It's over 100 bucks.
I don't think since I've been here, we've ever picked up brush in less than an 8-hour shift. If we have, I think it's probably few and far between.
I don't know who asked that question, but I'm glad that they did, because that was informative too as well.
It's important for people to understand. I get it, we're all taxpayers up here as well, and people can be frustrated, but you have to understand how things are budgeted, how things are paid for across the board on that as well. So don't just sit there and complain about it. If you want to know, ask questions, we can give you a valid answer. Like I said, street sweeping, I think Brent said at one point it was 130, 150 bucks an hour, something like that. Just, the equipment rental, we're paying off the street sweeper, the employees, the benefits, et cetera. Things aren't cheap, so you gotta understand, some of these are perks that, yes, we're paying a little bit more, but we could get some pretty decent benefits out of it. We've got good roads, we've got, decent maintenance, so I totally get that. It's just a matter of getting the information out there. I think looking at, is it urban forestry that entirely goes to that cleanup?
Yes.
So I think we budgeted like 150 next year for it, 150,000, spread that across an equal amount of quote residences. Water service, et cetera. It's like 127 bucks per resident per year. So again, when you compare that, I think it's like, what really would it cost to say, okay, come in here and spend half a day picking up my tree that I cut down, that a contractor cut down and threw in the front yard? We can't do it for that. It's just not feasible, not economically or financially feasible. Yeah, this is better getting information out there. I'd rather get, for people with facts over feelings, so I appreciate that. You're good? Anybody else?
Just kind of jumping on the brush thing. If it's possible, to have a location that village residents could drop off their brush, and then the DPW could get to it as it fits in their schedule. Instead of, not taking away the day that we have, but the whole, I can't get to it for.
Rather than sitting on a curb.
Rather than sitting on the curb or sitting in their yard or sitting on a tarp, or we look to change. Sitting where it can sit at the curb. And there's no ordinance against that, so we change an ordinance for that. Like I said, there might be some ways to look at this, and so I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
I'd much rather just purchase some property out of town when we burn there, we can order there, you can drop it off there, you know what I mean? Because we're not renting that land, where we can burn more efficiently. So, again, yeah, there's again, budget. Sure. Discussion talks, and totally agree. This side?
That would be great if we could do that.
Only need, like an acre or two.
We get quite a bit, but yeah, I don't think we would need a ton, no.
This side, anyone?
The contractor that's working out at South Main Street down here, is that the next fiber optic line that's going?
That is 123 net, and they are running the fiber line down 223 South Lane to the school.
That's all the further they're going?
At this time, yes. That's all that we've been notified of.
That's a school contract then? Is that the assumption? It's just going to the school, it's a school.
I would assume, but I don't know that for sure, how that works exactly. I have had, I guess, just to put it out there, since you brought it up, Eric, I have had several residents reach out concerned about where they're digging. The right of way there is 33 feet from center of road on South Lane. I actually did go out this afternoon. I met with the supervisor. Brent actually went with me, and we measured with him from back of curb. Looked at several of the holes that they had. They are within the right of way. It is on the other side of the sidewalk, so between the sidewalk and the home, down there. They did assure me that they will be filling in all of the holes. They will not leave them open. They will go back and reclaim it, be putting topsoil. I did get his phone number. If anybody has concerns, I will always reach out to them on behalf of the residents, or I can give them their contact information directly. I will say the guy, he was very kind, very helpful. He said that any residents that have concerns or questions can go out and talk to him, as well. I apologize, I don't have his name. I missed it. But I will work on getting it, but I did look into it. So again, if anyone has questions, they can be more than happy to talk to them, or they can reach out to me.
So they're not going through the whole community then, about this time.
Correct. At this time, like I said, they're gonna come down South Lane through downtown. And then down 223 to the east.
Our easements are full, and it's ugly, and definitely more, I mean. Planning is the future, whether, for any new build, it's, our easement and then a utility easement. Something beyond that, we gotta protect ourselves, our guys have to be able to handle our infrastructure as well, it's, we're for utility company, it's outdated. There's just so much underground right now, there almost needs to be a separate space where we have our utilities, and then the next 10 or 15 feet becomes private utility easement, et cetera. They may have to work that out properly.
In 2002, the state of Michigan implemented the Metro Act, which says we cannot deny use of a public right of way to a fiber company. We can put some regulations like that they have to do reclamation, that they have to provide a point of contact, some things like that we can request of them, but we can't just outright. We cannot deny them at all use of that right of way. So our hands are very tied as well. Because I know a few people have that question too, that we just let them go wherever, but we really, if they're in that right of way, don't have a say.
Unfortunately, CFS just left, we rambled too much, but I did get to talk with Brian, last week, and, not speaking up for them, but just stating that they are still looking at options on how to get water for their plant, how to operate it, whether that's directly aligned to the river, or whether that's through us, some sort of reclaimed water through the sewer plant, et cetera. But they haven't just closed the door on working with the village, so I thought that was a positive outlook, or at least discussion that we had. So I'm not sure if that's why they're here listening, but hopefully we can get that plant up and running, get more jobs, and see a benefit from CFS for our residents. Other than that, anybody else? Last chance? Nope. All right, moving on, public comment. Second version. Anyone?
I just want to bring up something again. The running sale event down at the park on Saturday is kind of failing. And I talked to who is running it. The Performing Arts Center at the high school. It used to be the Girl Scouts. They're really having trouble, they're struggling. And I asked why they didn't do more publicity on it. And, there's only 2 ladies, parents that are running it. I think there's 60 students in performing arts at school. And I asked them if they ever asked the DDA. Now, is the DDA connected with that? No, completely different. Okay, so it's a moneymaker for whoever sponsors it, and you just open up the park for them to use it. And they don't have to pay to use that park for that event. Nothing. So that's out of your hands. I wasn't real sure where that came in.
Did they permit for that? Or will they look now for something like?
Yes, in fact, they have the special event application. I talked to one of the people who, she's not the lead, but who helped with that, and I think is on the committee. Because we did run into a few things this weekend as well that came up, nothing minor, it was
We're all good. I know they're struggling.
Yeah.
Just, I wasn't real sure. When we can help them out. So. Thank you.
Anyone else? Jackie?
Jackie Bates, there was a ton of garage sales all over the time. And for people, residents to go down the park. Load up. Unset up, pack up and all that. There was a lot of residents took advantage of that event. Talking about, and, you know, to ask people to haul their brush to a location, how many people have a vehicle to do that?
I'm just saying, make it.
But here's a suggestion that I think might work, it does on Sugar Street. If somebody's got a pile of brush or whatever, and somebody else adds them, we put them together. And it saves them, they'll work for a whole lot of time, to get one pile. That's the neighbors that I live around, that's one, you know, a whole bunch of one spot. That's easy, I'm sure most people would, you know. Figure on that would save a lot of time.
Thanks, Shane. All right, we'll move on, we'll be with the Advocate Committee the whole next week. We've got, water, from Waterwork presentation regarding, weight or size scale, wage tip, fee scale, et cetera, and how we can, try to be proactive with that. We've got a potential meeting with the baseball, softball organizations. Danielle's working on from that. Our next official meeting is in 2 weeks, September 22nd. Anybody not gonna be here next week? Nope. I'll be here.
And just,
Yep. Sure.
baseball is confirmed for the 15th, and I'm waiting to hear back from softball. Their president is not available, so he's trying to see if he can send somebody else, or I will schedule another meeting with them. So I'll let you guys know on that. I also, I'm sorry, I do have one other question on that committee of the whole. I was actually trying to get that agenda wrapped up. So that we could send it out to you guys, and I had put a placeholder on that agenda to talk about brush pickup, which I know we talked about quite a bit tonight. And had made a couple of notes on there regarding, some ideas like having tickets or, I don't remember what the other thing is off the top of my head now. Is that something you're still wanting me to keep on the agenda for the 15th? And if we, as like a third item, if we have time, or do you want me to push that out or not right now? I wasn't really sure.
Definitely a hot topic at this point, so we
Yeah.
could, if we have time, I'd still like to see all the other entities, you know, Boy Scouts, et cetera, if we could have them join, because it's all kind of the same discussion. You know, regarding the budget, finance, things like that, I'm trying to accomplish, so.
Okay, so you do not, I misunderstood that, Mike, because I thought that council wanted to speak to them separately, not all at once.
However, I mean, it's all.
So I only reached out to,
So it's. all
baseball and
council has to go
softball.
about it, but- Okay. I just feel like we're kind of gonna give them the same spiel and where we're cutting and what we need to do and try to do, so, but that's not. but
yeah, I thought you wanted them different because they all have different things going on, like
That's right.
but it's totally your preference.
It's sort of just that private entity thing across that private organization across the board, but yeah, if we want to do it individually, that's fine, but let's try to reach everybody across the board sooner rather than later.
Okay, I will work on reaching out to set up those other meetings. And I'll keep the brush on there. If we have time, we can talk about it. If not, I'll just kind of carry that forward until we feel like, because I don't think it's critical, but that way it doesn't fall off our radar.
And I'm going to just want to piggyback on that, Mike, I didn't think we were meeting with the historic people / the Boy Scouts Academy because of the agreements already, and the agreements pretty much, in my opinion, already tell us what we're responsible for. But if you disagree.
Historic people, unfortunately, yes,
Yes,
of, Boy Scouts is still a little.
okay,
kind of
okay.
back.
I just, that was my impression, but if council support, absolutely, I'll support that.
And we can only fund so many of these. I mean, the organizations are great, but again, it's falling on the back of the taxpayer, and some people may agree with it, some may not. It's just being more efficiency, more fair across the board. How many of these entities can we both fund? Or how fund is the village, and unfortunately, it's just not doing like the seventies, my priorities. Okay. With that, there's nothing further, anyone from council? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn at 7:05 p.m.
Support. Yeah, that sounds like. All right, got a motion, Bill, second Tim, to adjourn 7:05, please call.
Ken,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Eric,
Yes.
Gwen,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Motion carries. Adjourned.